North Luangwa National Park, nestled between the western edge of the Luangwa River and the towering cliffs of the Muchinga Escarpment, spans 4,636 square kilometers. Unlike South Luangwa, which began as a tourist destination, this area was established in 1938 as a hunting reserve and only officially became a national park in 1972. No resorts, no mass market safaris, only limited walking tours, strictly licensed to preserve its untamed wilderness. With minimal infrastructure and many areas still untouched by human footsteps, this park holds on to the pristine essence of an ecosystem that remains virtually undisturbed. North Luangwa National Park is one of Africa's most intact wilderness reserves, where biodiversity thrives quietly. According to reports by the Frankfurt Zoological Society and the North Luangwa Conservation Program, the park is currently home to more than 60 mammal species. This includes the full Big Five group: African elephant, African buffalo, lion, leopard, and notably the black rhinoceros, which was reintroduced in 2003 and has since been showing positive population growth. The park's climate is divided into two distinct seasons. The rainy season lasts from November to April, with average annual rainfall between 850 and 1,100 millimeters, bringing abundant life and a green sweep across the riverine plains. The dry season from May to October brings challenges, with daytime temperatures averaging 30 degrees Celsius and vegetation drying out. The landscape stretches from arid Mopane woodland to lush Miombo forest in the highlands and muddy floodplains along the river. Woven throughout these zones is an astonishingly rich plant cover, with over 1,300 vascular plant species recorded. In the lowlands, dense Colophospermum mopane woodlands serve as a primary food source for herbivores during the dry season. Higher up on the escarpment, the Miombo forest forms an ecological canopy with tree species like Brachystegia, Eulbenardia, and Isoberlinia, offering more shade and higher humidity. As the rainy season fades, North Luangwa enters the dry season with an unusual beauty: quiet, harsh, and deeply captivating. The skies turn clear and unbroken, with almost zero rainfall from May through October. Daytime temperatures range from 25 to 35 degrees Celsius, reaching up to 40 degrees Celsius during drought years. But on June and July nights, the air turns crisp, with temperatures dipping below 10 degrees Celsius. Dry southeastern winds sweep across the Mopane Savanna, cracking the earth like the aged skin of an elephant. The Luangwa River slowly recedes, leaving behind isolated waterholes, now arenas of survival for both predator and prey. By the end of the dry season, smoke from natural or controlled fires fills the air, painting sunsets in red and filling the atmosphere with the scent of burnt dust, as if this land is breathing through ashes. Fire consumes, yet it also prepares the ground for new life, just like the seeds that wait for flame to burst open and rise from the ashes. During the dry season, the Mopane Savanna becomes a corridor of survival. This is the most distinctive ecological zone of the Luangwa Valley, covering much of the lowland area of North Luangwa National Park. Many animal species gather around the remaining waterholes, while predators lurk in the shadows, using the open terrain and low shrubs to ambush their prey. Standing out against the grassland backdrop, the Cooksun's wildebeest moves steadily forward, each step echoing a rhythm of survival woven deep into its lifeblood. As a subspecies unique to the Luangwa Valley, this group of wildebeest lives in large herds, known for their sturdy build, compact horns and ears, and remarkable tolerance for dry conditions. During the dry season, they keep moving to find the last patches of grass or young mopane leaves to replace the now scarce fresh grass, their primary food source. They face predators that use the low shrubs and open terrain to stage ambushes. To stay safe, they stick close in large numbers, stay constantly alert, lower their heads, clash horns with would-be hunters, and shield their calves in a tight circle, a survival tactic that works. This population shows extraordinary endurance. They can travel hundreds of kilometers and climb rugged slopes in search of food and water, a rare feat among wildebeest subspecies. When the rains return, mothers quickly give birth after about 8.5 months of pregnancy, following the same reproductive strategy as blue wildebeest. Unlike the wildebeest, the honey badger doesn't choose defense. It faces venomous snakes and large predators head-on. When dust coats the ground and grass disappears, it still hunts alone, weaving through dry thickets with a low, solid gait and sharp, alert eyes. What makes this small creature stand out is its almost unbelievable boldness. Measuring just about 70 centimeters in length and weighing under 12 kilograms, it carries a fearless spirit that even larger predators approach with caution. If you believe size determines dominance, the honey badger will make you think again. When faced with bigger hunters, it doesn't run. Instead, it turns around, growls, and lunges straight at its opponent's face or legs. Its secret lies in its thick, loose skin, allowing it to twist and counter even when pinned down. Its strong jaws can pierce through tough hides, and the scent gland at its rear can send any challenger retreating. But more remarkable still is its resistance to snake venom. The honey badger's body has a unique mutation in the nicotinic acetylcholine receptor, the very receptor snake venom targets to paralyze the nervous system. This mutation changes the shape of the receptor, preventing venom from dangerous snakes like the puff adder or cobra from binding effectively. So, even after being bitten, the honey badger may pass out for a few hours, then wake up, get back on its feet, and resume the hunt. But the honey badger isn't just a master of defense. It's a bold, opportunistic hunter, digging into hard soil, raiding insect nests, crunching small bones, cracking open rodent shells, and even devouring beehives, unfazed by stings. Some individuals have even been observed trailing leopard tracks, waiting for leftovers. And as the sun begins to fade, the African wild dog becomes the most striking presence of all. In the parched Mopane savanna of North Luangwa, they appear like long-distance warriors, resilient and masterfully coordinated. African wild dogs are among the most successful hunters in Africa. Their strength doesn't come from muscle, but from flawless teamwork. Every individual knows its role. During the dry season, when visibility opens up and shrubs grow low, They use the open terrain to surround and drive their prey into well-calculated dead ends. Packs usually hunt at dawn or in the late afternoon when the heat has eased and prey is most exhausted. Once they lock onto a target, they don't give up. Able to sustain speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour for several minutes, combined with their sharp turns and tireless persistence, they can wear down even large herds through sheer, relentless pressure. African wild dogs don't need to drink water as often as many other animals. They get most of their hydration from the organs and blood of their prey, which contains 70 to 80% water. When they do drink, it's usually early in the morning or late in the day, when temperatures are cooler and there's less risk of running into rivals. They move in packs to waterholes, always leaving a few on guard while the others lower their heads to drink, quickly, cautiously, and then they move on. When not hunting, they divide responsibilities, finding waterholes, guarding pups, and watching over their territory. Despite the dry conditions, they are not just surviving, they're thriving. But that's not the case everywhere. Across Africa, the African wild dog population is critically low. Fewer than 6,600 individuals remain, with fewer than 1,400 mature adults. Classified as endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, this elite wild canine faces a fragile future. Threats loom from every direction: diseases from domestic dogs, human conflict, habitat loss due to agricultural development, and reproductive isolation caused by fragmented populations. Packs are being driven out, migration routes cut off, and their natural ability to regenerate in the wild is fading. Amid these growing challenges, North Luangwa stands as one of their last strongholds. North Luangwa remains a quiet fortress, where wild dog populations are strictly protected, living within an untouched wilderness and maintaining their complex social structure. It is now home to one of Zambia's largest populations of African wild dogs, second only to its neighbor, South Luangwa. Here, the North Luangwa Conservation Program, in partnership with international organizations and the Zambian Carnivore Program, has launched rescue initiatives. These efforts help establish continuous habitat corridors, monitor each wild dog pack, and prevent disease through vaccination and genetic tracking. Equally important, community education around the park has significantly reduced conflict between people and wildlife. Another predator that consistently claims a top spot on the list in North Luangwa is the leopard, scientifically known as Panthera pardus. With a sleek, agile body and a rosette-patterned coat that nearly disappears under the dappled sunlight filtering through the canopy, it takes full advantage of the few remaining shadows in this landscape to approach its prey. Hasty paw prints pressed into hard soil, eyes glinting beneath sparse leaves, and a fresh catch being dragged up into the Mopane branches. A familiar tactic, but one that never loses its edge. In a land where lion and spotted hyena hunt the same targets, stashing a meal in the trees is a matter of survival for the leopard. What's remarkable is that they can haul prey twice their body weight up into tall, sloping branches, a feat of stamina and precision. There isn't much shade to rest in, and even fewer open water sources. But the leopard doesn't need that. It gets most of its water intake from its prey, a trait that allows this big cat to remain steady amid the dry, rugged Mopane landscape. The remaining waterholes lie deep among rock outcrops or beneath shadowed Mopane hollows. These are also where antelope and warthog often gather, creating quiet but promising hunting grounds. The leopard usually strikes from higher ground or through dense cover, timing its approach at dawn or dusk, when light is low and its prey's senses are dulled. After a lightning-fast pounce, reaching speeds of 36 to 58 kilometers per hour, it drags the carcass away from the scene, vanishing as if it were never there. Few people know that leopards can swim. They're not natural swimmers like tigers, but they can cross shallow streams or pursue prey across broken creek beds, a true testament to their adaptability. And here's another interesting detail. If you've ever seen a black panther and thought it was an entirely different species of cat, that's a common misconception. They're not a separate species at all, but leopards with a genetic mutation for melanin, giving them a deep black coat. In low light, if you look closely, you can still make out the ghostly rosette patterns faintly visible on their dark fur, like a living shadow gliding through the forest, both familiar and mysterious. One of the key reasons leopards must haul their prey into trees quickly is the presence of spotted hyena clans, famous for stealing kills and ready to take action at any moment. But in the dry Mopane savanna of North Luangwa, the spotted hyena asserts its role as a formidable predator, not merely the thief it's so often mistaken for. Although there are no specific reports on spotted hyena populations in North Luangwa, comparisons to similar ecosystems like the Serengeti and Ngorongoro crater offer a glimpse into their potential lives here. Contrary to the common misconception that spotted hyenas are mainly scavengers, they are actually highly skilled hunters. According to research by Hans Kruk, up to 98% of their food comes from active hunting, sometimes matching the effectiveness of lions. Even with a hunting success rate of just around 30%, their persistence allows them to thrive in intensely competitive environments. Spotted hyenas live within a matriarchal social structure, led by older females, which enhances group hunting efficiency. They often form large clans of 20 to 80 individuals, with a complex social hierarchy similar to that of Cercopithecine monkeys, providing strong support for coordinated hunting and territory defense. Hunting typically takes place during nighttime and the early morning hours. When the air is cool and low, dry grass makes it easier to approach prey. They reach average chase speeds of 50 to 60 kilometers per hour, sustained for up to 5 minutes, long enough to bring down prey before losing momentum. The hyena's jaw has been compared to a steel clamp, with a bite force among the strongest in the Hyenidae family, up to 4,500 newtons. This immense power allows it to crush even the largest bones from giraffes or buffalo. This bone-cracking ability helps them sustain energy during the dry season when food is harder to come by. In North Luangwa, spotted hyenas also serve as nature's cleanup crew, consuming every remaining scrap and playing a key role in the natural cycle. As water becomes scarce during the dry season, spotted hyena clans gather near isolated waterholes, hotspots that also attract herbivores, turning into communal feeding grounds. What's notable is that when they lose a hard-earned catch to stronger individuals, hyenas often regroup and reclaim it through sheer numbers and persistence, their skill and coordination often surpassing that of solitary predators like the leopard. If the Mopane Savanna is a harsh challenge, then the Luangwa River floodplain is the heart of hope, a place that holds on to the last lifelines during the dry season. The Luangwa River floodplain is one of the most vital and dynamic ecosystems within North Luangwa National Park. During the dry season, as the flow of the Luangwa River dwindles, the entire floodplain undergoes a dramatic transformation. As the water recedes, muddy flats emerge, forming narrow but nutrient-rich wetlands, a rare lifeline for flood-tolerant vegetation and short grasses growing along the banks. The tougher the conditions, the more small animals reveal their hidden strengths. The caracal is a medium-sized wild cat, easily recognized by its upright ears tipped with black tufts, like desert antennae. And it's this unique feature that helps it pinpoint sounds with remarkable accuracy across the busy Luangwa River floodplain. Rather than competing with larger predators, it follows its own distinct strategy, targeting small prey, stalking silently, and striking in a flash. With vertical leaps reaching up to 3 meters, the caracal can snatch birds straight from mid-air. In North Luangwa, caracals show a relatively high survival rate during the dry season among small cats, thanks to their flexible diet and superb ability to hide within the still damp mudflats along the river. A giant cat reigning at the top of the ecosystem, the lion is preparing to enter the dry season's battle for survival. As the Luangwa River slowly retreats, the floodplains become dotted with isolated waterholes, unwilling gathering points for both prey and predators. And in this setting, the lion takes center stage in the entire biological chain. Unlike other big cats like the leopard or cheetah, the lion, scientifically known as Panthera leo, is the only one that lives in tightly knit social groups, with each individual holding a defined role. Lionesses are in charge of hunting, working together in a fan-like formation to surround their target, often large mammals. They are smaller, faster, and better positioned for coordinated group chases. Male lions, though larger and more powerful, spend most of their time defending territory and protecting the pride, especially the young. In the harsh dry season, where low grass and leafless trees create clear sightlines, lions make full use of shadows and riverbank ridges for ambush, turning the floodplain into an ideal hunting stage. Most hunts take place at dawn or dusk to avoid the daytime heat that can reach up to 35 degrees Celsius. Each hunt lasts just a few minutes but is carefully planned. When the prey is taken down, the male eats first, regardless of the lioness's efforts, reflecting the species' distinct social hierarchy. Throughout the dry season, lion prides also claim waterholes to survive and to control prey migration, a form of ecological dominance. Their presence even forces herbivores to adjust their movement and feeding patterns, indirectly helping preserve the riverside vegetation structure. According to 2024 data from the Zambian Carnivore Program, North Luangwa has one of the highest lion densities in Zambia, with over 8 individuals per 100 square kilometers. This impressive density indicates a strong enough ecosystem to support a top-tier predator. Lions are also known for a unique behavior, roaring together, a synchronized call that strengthens social bonds and asserts territorial claim. In the dry floodplain, that roar can echo up to 8 kilometers, a silent message. This territory is not easily taken. In this unforgiving land, the lion is not just a predator. It is a symbol of power, discipline, and order. These traits are what keep them firmly at the top of the ecological pyramid during the searing dry season in North Luangwa. The dry season brings about a synchronized rhythm among many animal species, and Crochet's zebra also rises early to begin its daily journey of survival. This is a subspecies unique to the Luangwa Valley, easily recognized by its dense black stripes with no brown shadowing in between. On the shallow savanna of the Luangwa River floodplain, zebra herds gather early along the grassy riverbanks, areas that still hold moisture and fresh young plants. Data from the Frankfurt Zoological Society shows that during the dry season, zebra herds, like other grazers, must travel tens of kilometers each day in search of water and tender grasses. Their survival hinges on moving in large groups, which offers protection from predators and helps quickly locate water sources. As the Luangwa River recedes, isolated waterholes become gathering points for all life. Experienced zebras lead the herd there early in the morning before the sun climbs to a scorching 33 degrees Celsius. This timing allows them to drink sufficiently and feed on moisture-rich grasses, minimizing the need to travel further during the heat of the day. In this sweltering heat, one might assume that the giants would struggle most. But the African elephant stands as a mighty warrior, battling the elements with grace. Within the Luangwa River floodplain, elephant herds have endured for thousands of years, even actively reshaping the ecosystem through their intelligence, unity, and extraordinary adaptability. This species exhibits a classic matriarchal social structure, with each herd led by an older female. Her leadership isn't based on strength, but on spatial memory and decision-making skills, crucial factors in guiding the herd through the harsh, dry season. African elephant herds can travel up to 30 kilometers per day in search of water, relying on the matriarch's ability to recall dozens of seasonal water sources with remarkable precision. But their impact goes beyond water seeking. African elephants make mud. Using their tusks or front legs, they can break through hardened soil to form shallow depressions that temporarily hold water. This behavior benefits many smaller species as well. That's why, in ecology, elephants are known as ecosystem engineers. Their trunk, containing more than 40,000 individual muscles, is a survival tool. African elephants use this remarkable organ to pluck leaves, snap branches, dig for water beneath cracked earth, and even create water holes for other animals. A single adult elephant can draw up 10 to 12 liters of water in one go, helping its body stay regulated even as daytime temperatures exceed 35 degrees Celsius. This region is also referred to as Zambia's elephant stronghold due to its high population density and visible social dynamics. Beyond sharing food and helping raise young, elephants also exhibit mourning rituals for fallen members, something incredibly rare in the animal kingdom. Amid the dry and risk-laden floodplain, their endurance, discipline, and emotional depth have made the African elephant one of Africa's most socially profound and resilient creatures. Also a large animal that prefers to keep a low profile near swamps and cool mudflats, the African buffalo often uses these spots to regulate body temperature and fend off insects and parasites. But in the dry season, the top priority shifts to fulfilling its role as a great family that dominates the Luangwa River floodplain in a collective effort to survive. Buffalo herds can reach into the hundreds, gathering around isolated waterholes, where the remaining water becomes vital during this parched season. According to a report by Crafted Africa, these herds are sometimes so massive they're described as huge herds, occasionally reaching up to 1,000 individuals. During the dry months, when daytime temperatures soar to 35 degrees Celsius with no rain, African buffaloes depend mainly on riverside grasses and moist mudflats for grazing and drinking. Each day, the herd moves an average of 4 to 6 kilometers, searching for food and hidden water sources within the mud, based on observed behavior from Luangwa National Park in Tanzania. Though they are prime targets for lions and other large predators, African buffaloes are far from easy prey. When cornered, the herd can form a living wall, horns raised high, ready to counter. This defensive formation is enough to make even lions think twice. African buffaloes play a key role in the upper food chain and help create focal points of life, influencing the migration habits of other grazers. As noted by an ecologist from South Luangwa Conservation in 2023, buffalo keep the floodplain from falling silent. They are the connective thread of the entire ecosystem. As the dry season closes with its final hot gusts and the ground begins to soften under the first drops of rain, South Luangwa enters a completely different phase. The entire land seems to awaken. From November to April, the region receives between 700 and 1,200 millimeters of rainfall, with the heaviest showers typically falling between December and February. Temperatures range from 22 to 30 degrees Celsius, and the rising humidity makes the air heavy, but full of life. Cracked earth turns slippery and muddy, fresh grass blankets the Mopane Savanna, and trees burst into new growth across the Miombo woodland. The landscape transforms in dramatic fashion. No more smoke or heavy footprints, just a brilliant green stretching all the way to the horizon. This is the season of renewal. At the Luangwa River floodplain, as rainfall intensifies from December onward, the Luangwa River expands its reach, spilling over the banks to form a network of channels and oxbow lagoons. Fresh grass shoots up at an astonishing rate, partly fueled by the rich sediment deposited during each river swell. As a result, animals spread out more widely and gather less frequently in single locations, even though the floodplain remains the central hub of activity. The rainy season in the Luangwa River floodplain is a time of renewal, and it is also the story of the black rhinoceros here. When the first rains fall, the ground softens and vegetation explodes into life. This is when the black rhino enters its most active phase of the year. Unlike the dry season, when they stay hidden in dense thickets to conserve moisture, the rainy season allows rhinos to expand their territory, move more freely, and graze constantly to build up energy. With softened ground, they use their horns and feet to scrape paths and trails through tall grass, both to forage and to mark territory. The behavior of rubbing horns against tree trunks is observed more frequently during the wet season, partly instinctive, partly to remove mud and debris clinging to their skin. Each individual can consume up to 50 kilograms of grass and leaves per day, helping manage vegetation and maintain the ecological balance along the riverside. Because they are solitary and extremely sensitive to sound, black rhinos often visit muddy flats and shallow waterholes in the early morning. Beyond drinking, they coat themselves in mud, which helps repel insects and cool their skin in the humid heat of the rainy season. Observations from 2024 have also recorded an increase in sightings near open clearings, reflecting their flexible behavior as young grass spreads across the floodplain. Classified as critically endangered, the black rhinoceros vanished from Zambia for nearly 2 decades. But its steady recovery in North Luangwa, the only region with a naturally regenerating population, has become a symbol of success in wildlife conservation. And now, every quiet step they take in the rainy season stands as proof that nature can heal if given the right protection, just like the original call in Genesis 2:15. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it, to serve and care for creation with faithful stewardship. The return of the black rhino is both a biological triumph and a powerful response to the sacred responsibility humanity was entrusted with from the beginning. Another large animal that fully comes to life during the rainy season in the Luangwa River floodplain is the hippopotamus. As the Luangwa River rises, spilling into side channels and oxbow lagoons, the hippo becomes the undisputed ruler of the shallow waters. Throughout the day, they remain submerged, barely moving, to regulate body temperature, surfacing only every few minutes to breathe before slipping back underwater. But when dusk falls, the hippos quietly leave the river, following well-worn trails to the flooded grasslands, where each individual may consume up to 40 kilograms of fresh grass each night. The rainy season is a time for both feeding and breeding, and dominant males become especially territorial and aggressive. Clashes are frequent as they battle for position within the herd and access to females, resulting in dramatic confrontations across misty waters. Weighing up to 1,800 kilograms and capable of opening their jaws to 150 degrees, the hippopotamus has no real rivals in this environment. While adult hippos are generally avoided by predators, the calves remain vulnerable, making vigilance and protection a constant duty for the larger individuals. According to a recent study published in Scientific Research Publishing in 2024, North Luangwa now records the highest hippopotamus density in the world along the Luangwa River. In North Luangwa National Park, numbers reach 35 to 48 individuals per kilometer of river, with an estimated total population between 5,000 and 7,000. Far more than just large animals lounging in water, hippopotamuses serve as ecological architects of the rainy season. Their muck-spreading behavior helps redistribute nutrients throughout the water, promoting the growth of aquatic vegetation and supporting the entire underwater food web. When the rainy season floods the floodplain, no species makes better use of the water, biologically, ecologically, and strategically, than the hippopotamus. As the rainy season returns to North Luangwa, the Luangwa River rises and spreads into a network of winding channels and oxbow lagoons across the floodplain. This is also the time when the Nile crocodile, an ancient creature dating back to the time of dinosaurs, enters its most effective hunting season of the year. Hidden beneath murky water, with only its eyes and part of its snout visible, the Nile crocodile is the very definition of ecological invisibility. By remaining completely still, It blends seamlessly into the landscape, leaving prey unaware of the danger until it's far too late. Nile crocodiles are massive. Adult individuals average between 4 and 6 meters in length and can weigh up to 600 kilograms. But what truly sets them apart is their extraordinary bite force, 22,400 newtons, equal to over 2.2 metric tons of pressure. This is one of the strongest bite forces ever recorded in the animal kingdom, far exceeding that of lions or any other predators in North Luangwa. Their hunting strategy is based on surprise and absolute control. When prey, often fish, water birds, or animals coming to drink, enters range, the strike is delivered with near instant speed. The target is then pulled into the water and subjected to a death roll, a violent spinning motion that tears flesh, breaks bones, and eliminates resistance in seconds. According to research by Vladimir Dinets at the University of Tennessee, published in Ethology, Ecology, and Evolution, Nile crocodiles do not always hunt alone. This behavior, known as temporary group coordination, has been observed during large fish runs, an extremely rare phenomenon among reptiles. In the rainy season, as prey spreads out, Nile crocodiles position themselves strategically in shallow waters, exploiting bottlenecks like narrow streams, river mouths, or muddy banks to increase hunting success. Even more fascinating, crocodiles can hold their breath for up to 2 hours, thanks to an unusually high tolerance for lactic acid buildup in their blood. This allows them to stake out deep water ambushes or wait patiently for the perfect moment, without ever surfacing. In contrast, amid the flood-soaked Luangwa River floodplain, the African clawless otter appears like a graceful water dancer. Unlike ambush predators such as the Nile crocodile that lie in wait, the otter glides effortlessly, using its dexterous front paws to snatch up small fish, shrimp, and crabs. It then swims ashore, where it can eat and play at the edge of deep water and murky mud. According to a 2024 study by Stephanie Giselle Nicolaides from the University of Western Cape, otters have a rather unusual hunting method. They use their long whiskers and nimble paws to scoop prey from beneath the muddy layer, demonstrating remarkable adaptation to the rain-heavy, sediment-rich floodplain environment. This behavior is most commonly observed in the late afternoon, when competition with larger predators like leopards or crocodiles is reduced. An adult clawless otter typically lives alone, occasionally appearing in small groups of 2 to 3 during the breeding season. Thanks to excellent thermoregulation, they can swim continuously for hours in high water levels without losing body heat. Clawless otters are omnivores. Fish make up the bulk of their diet, accounting for over 60% of total biomass, according to floodplain data in Zambia. Some individuals have even been seen trailing fishermen to scavenge fish caught in nets, further evidence of their flexible foraging habits. Amid the vast waterscape, with their deliberate swimming, muddy bank foraging, and whisker-guided hunting through aquatic vegetation, the African clawless otter is a living emblem of adaptability in the Luangwa ecosystem. They may not be the strongest, but they are perfect survivors in nature's ever-changing rhythms. That's the story along the rivers, but if you shift your gaze skyward, you'll spot a striking white figure soaring above the wild backdrop of North Luangwa. It's most likely the saddle-billed stork, with a wingspan nearing 2.7 meters and a bold contrast of black and white plumage. This giant stork easily draws attention, yet remains a remarkably discreet hunter. The rainy season becomes the perfect stage for the saddle-billed stork to showcase its hunting prowess. Using its signature red and yellow bill like a blade slicing through water, it swiftly plucks up fish, frogs, or aquatic insects with near-perfect precision. Unlike many other stork species that travel in flocks, this one lives and hunts either solo or in pairs, maintaining clear territorial boundaries. The consistent presence of the saddle-billed stork in North Luangwa has been regularly recorded through the 2024 bird monitoring system. This reflects the health and integrity of the wetland ecosystem, an environment highly sensitive to shifts in climate and water flow. As floodwaters cover the plains, more adaptable species turn toward higher ground, where the escarpment Miombo quietly transforms with the arrival of the rains. The rugged plateau edge of North Luangwa takes on an entirely new appearance when the first rains fall. Stretching across elevations from 900 to over 1,300 meters, this landscape was shaped by ancient geological faults, forming sheer cliffs and narrow valleys surrounded by the region's signature Miombo woodland. With the onset of the rainy season, the once hardened red soil is moistened, triggering a dramatic resurgence of life. The thick canopy and deep leaf litter of the escarpment Miombo create a hunting paradise for the banded mongoose. This small carnivore lives in groups of 10 to over 40 individuals, moving constantly through rock crevices, dense undergrowth, and the bases of large trees, like a well-coordinated scout team. Each group has clearly defined roles. Some individuals scout ahead, others stand guard, and the rest dig through the soft soil in search of prey. What's most remarkable is their ability to hunt snakes, including venomous species like the puff adder. When a target is spotted, the group surrounds it and uses a coordinated distraction and counter strategy to quickly subdue the prey. Rain triggers an explosion of insects and amphibians, creating a rich food supply for the banded mongoose. At the same time, the dense forest canopy and rocky terrain offer excellent cover from larger predators. In a season when the forest bursts to life, small but united species like these become key players, controlling snake and insect populations and helping to keep the Miombo woodland ecosystem in balance. As peak rainy season paints the slopes of the escarpment Miombo in lush green, troops of vervet monkeys quickly seize the opportunity to reorganize their way of life. Low-hanging Brachystegia branches, where soft light filters through the damp forest canopy, become ideal shelters for troops ranging from 10 to 50 individuals. With their silvery gray coats and distinct black faces, vervet monkeys are easy to identify. But their social behavior makes them even more remarkable. They often stay near water sources or forest edges, where tree roots retain moisture and attract small creatures that serve as food. Their seasonal memory allows vervets to know exactly when and where syzygium or marula trees begin to bear fruit. This helps them move strategically and conserve energy efficiently. Vervets possess a highly complex vocal alarm system. Each type of call alerts the group to different threats, from snakes to birds of prey. During the rainy season, when thick foliage and falling rain muffle sound, this system becomes even more vital for group safety. Though primarily fruit eaters, vervet monkeys play a key role in seed dispersal and insect control, helping to stabilize the Miombo ecosystem along the escarpment's edge. They may lack large size or aggression, but vervet monkeys stand as a testament to intelligence, perseverance, and adaptability, traits essential to surviving in this rain-drenched, challenging terrain. While most animals flock to the lowlands during the rainy season to enjoy the abundance of water, the roan antelope chooses a different path. It heads up into the escarpment Miombo, where the forest comes back to life and mist blankets the foothills. With a sturdy frame reaching up to 2.4 meters in length and weighing as much as 300 kilograms, this antelope is one of the largest species on the African continent. Its most distinctive feature, easily recognizable from afar, is the pair of curved horns sweeping backward and a striking black and white face that resembles an ancient mask. The rainy season creates ideal conditions for roan antelope to break away from larger herds and live in smaller groups of 5 to 10 individuals in open woodland. This helps reduce competition for food and avoid the high predator density of the floodplain. Abundant rainfall allows Miombo vegetation to regenerate quickly, providing tall, nutrient-rich grasses, perfect for their broad muzzle. The roan antelope's mouth structure is a key evolutionary trait that enhances its ability to adapt. Unlike many antelope species with narrow snouts, the roan antelope has a wide muzzle and strong jaws, covered by thick lips. This allows them to tear and chew coarse, tall grasses, often found in clumps along forest edges and hillsides. And what if we look upward, toward the towering cliffs? There, you'll find the southern carmine bee-eater, a bird cloaked in vivid pink-red, standing out boldly against the lush green of the escarpment Miombo during the rainy season. As vegetation blankets the rocky slopes, flocks of bee-eaters appear in full force, moving like hovering dancers in pursuit of flying insects. This bird is small, with a wingspan of only 30 to 35 centimeters, yet its speed and aerial agility are truly remarkable. They primarily feed on bees, butterflies, dragonflies, and other flying insects, hunting by darting from high branches or gliding low along cliff faces. One of their most distinctive behaviors is communal nesting. Dozens to hundreds of pairs dig into soft earthen banks near streams or hillsides, creating a dense network of nesting tunnels. Each burrow can reach 1 to 2 meters deep, providing protection for eggs and chicks from harsh weather and predators. The rainy season is both breeding time and a grand stage for the southern carmine bee-eater to display its beauty and its extraordinary survival skills in the heart of the wild mountain forest. South Luangwa National Park is a true wilderness, where walking safaris are only permitted from June to October to minimize environmental impact and preserve the quiet of nature. However, the region is also facing a series of serious environmental and social challenges. The El Niño event that began in early 2024 has been recorded as the most intense in over 2 decades, drying up many Luangwa tributaries and severely impacting hippos, crocodiles, and other species that rely on consistent water sources. In resource-managed zones, illegal farming, logging, and mining have disrupted natural habitats and polluted the already dwindling Luangwa River. At the same time, human-wildlife conflict is rising, with over 200 hectares of crops destroyed by elephants and hippos in 2024, causing major losses to local farmers' livelihoods. Tourism remains underdeveloped. It has not created jobs or increased income. Without access to infrastructure, local communities continue to rely on subsistence farming, making them especially vulnerable during crop failures, particularly in times of drought. These realities remind us that wild nature does not stand still. It requires stewardship, cooperation, and compassion between people and creation. But truly, This land has never been forgotten or abandoned. To address the serious challenges facing North Luangwa, the government of Zambia, in collaboration with the Frankfurt Zoological Society and international partners, has launched a series of coordinated solutions. One of the key initiatives is the Community Resources Board program. More than 12 communities surrounding the park have been empowered to co-manage forest and wildlife resources, helping to reduce conflict and generate income through conservation. Additionally, to mitigate crop damage caused by wildlife, communities have been supported in building chili-based biological fences, food storage silos, and organizing rapid response teams to handle animal incursions. Nearly 80 clean water boreholes were constructed in 2024, easing pressure on the increasingly depleted Luangwa River during the ongoing El Niño. In terms of livelihoods, beekeeping initiatives, the Kokoba microfinance program, and climate-resilient farming training are now helping more than 4,000 households increase income and adapt to climate change. This stands as proof that science, policy, and faith in creation care can work hand in hand to protect one of Africa's most pristine wilderness areas. North Luangwa National Park, remote and wild, still depends on the embrace of community to thrive in today's world. And if you've ever visited this national park, feel free to share your insights and experiences in the comments below. Your stories could be a source of inspiration and encouragement for conservation efforts and help preserve this ecosystem for future generations. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to join us on the next extraordinary adventure. Or continue exploring the survival journeys of wildlife in other regions in Luangwa Unveiled, deep in the Valley of Hunters, or from Serengeti to Masai Mara, survival on the move.